In the year 1162, somewhere around modern-day northeastern Mongolia, a child was born who would later become known as Genghis Khan, though at the time he was simply Temujin, a name that did not yet strike fear into entire continents. According to legend, he was born clutching a blood clot, which, to the superstitious Mongols, was interpreted as a sign that he was destined for greatness. Temujin was the son of Yesugi, a minor chieftain, but his early life quickly turned from promising to catastrophic. At just 9 years old, his father was poisoned by a rival tribe, Tatars, and Temujin's family was abandoned by their clan for practical and political reasons rather than simple cruelty. Mongol society on the steppe was based on strength, leadership, and survival, not inheritance or sympathy. Since Temujin was only a young boy, he was not seen as capable of leading or protecting the tribe. Left to survive alone on Mongolian harsh steppe, Temujin and his family endured extreme hunger and hardship. During this period, he even killed his half-brother Bektar over a dispute involving food. Not exactly a story of childhood innocence, but an accurate reflection of survival at the time. Temujin's rise to power was not immediate, nor was it easy. It involved alliances, betrayals, and a remarkable ability to learn from both. He formed a close bond with Jamuha, his blood brother. Unfortunately, as history often demonstrates, strong friendships sometimes make for even stronger rivalries. Temujin strengthened his position by marrying Borte, gaining both a partner and valuable tribal alliances. When Borte was kidnapped by a rival tribe, Merkit, Temujin launched a rescue and successfully retrieving her, and proving he was not someone to overlook. However, tensions with Jamuha grew. Their disagreement was philosophical as much as personal. Jamuha believed in noble birth and aristocracy. Temujin believed in merit, skill, loyalty, and usefulness. A surprisingly modern hiring policy if you think about it. After years of conflict, including brutal battles and strategic deception, Temujin defeated Jamuha in 1204. 2 years later, in 1206, he was declared Genghis Khan, meaning universal ruler. For the first time, the Mongol tribes were united under a single leader. And history suggests that when that happens, expansion tends to follow. Under Genghis Khan, the Mongol conquests began, and they were extraordinarily effective. His army was unlike anything the world had seen. Highly mobile cavalry, expert horse archers, advanced communication systems using flags, drums, and signals. They used also strategic deception, including feigned retreats and psychological warfare. In one famous tactic, his soldiers lit multiple campfires to exaggerate their numbers, essentially an early version of military misdirection. His campaigns moved rapidly. In just 25 years, the Mongols conquered more land than the Romans had in 400. They invaded powerful states, including the Khwarezmian Empire, after a diplomatic incident involving murdered envoys. Genghis Khan's response was decisive, thorough, and, from the Khwarezmian perspective, deeply unfortunate. Cities that resisted were often destroyed. Those that surrendered were usually spared. This policy, while brutal, was highly effective at encouraging cooperation. By the time of his death in 1227, the empire stretched from the Pacific Ocean to the Caspian Sea, roughly 10 million square miles, making it the largest contiguous land empire in history. Now, it would be easy to describe Genghis Khan simply as a conqueror, and many do. However, that would be incomplete. He also established systems that improved stability and communication across vast territories. A postal network that allowed messages to travel quickly across the empire. Legal reforms under a code known as the Yasa. Religious tolerance, allowing diverse beliefs to coexist. Protection for merchants, which revitalized the Silk Road. There is even a saying that one could travel across the empire with gold and remain unharmed. An impressive claim, though perhaps best not personally tested. His leadership emphasized meritocracy. People were promoted based on ability, not background. In a medieval context, this was remarkably progressive. At the same time, his campaigns caused immense destruction and loss of life. Entire cities were wiped out. So, was he a visionary or a destroyer? The academically correct answer is both. Genghis Khan died in 1227, his burial site still unknown, perhaps history's most successful secret. By then, he had built an empire that reshaped global trade, warfare, and cultural exchange. His descendants would expand it even further, carrying his legacy across continents. To some, he was a barbarian. To others, a genius. But to historians, he remains something far more interesting. A man who rose from nothing and changed the structure of the world. And that is why, centuries later, we are still talking about him.